Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Western Adventure, Fort-Laramie, starring Raymond Burr, going back 66 years ago to August 5th, 1956, the Massacre. And it's not what you think. We thank you for joining us on this TGI Friday, the 5th day of August, 217th day of the year, 148 days until we get to 2023. In 1620, the Mayflower departed Southampton, England, on its first attempt to reach North America. The New York Weekly Journal writer John Peter Zenger, acquitted of seditious libel against the royal governor of New York on this date in 1735, on the basis that what he published was true. Tecumseh's Indian forces ambushed Thomas Van Horn's 200 Americans at Brownstone Creek in 1812, causing them to flee and retreat during the War of 1812. In order to help pay for the war effort, the government issued the first income tax as part of the Revenue Act of 1861. 3% of all incomes over $800 US, it would be rescinded in 1872. Also on this date in 1861, the Army abolished flogging. Well, that was a whole lot worse than waterboarding. Standard Oil of New Jersey, established in 1882. Cornerstone for the Statue of Liberty, laid on Bedloe's Island in New York Harbor on this date in 1884. In Cleveland, on this date in 1914, the first electric traffic light installed. And on this date in 1957, American Bandstand, a show dedicated to the teenage baby boomers, by playing the songs and showing popular dances of their time, debuted on ABC. Now, host Dick Clark remembers a friend asking him to play a record on the air.
In the 60s, we brought out a record that a friend of mine had brought back from England with a picture sleeve of three what then appeared to be long-haired young men. And I played it as a favor because he was a former business associate of mine, and he swore to me that this group was going to be extraordinary. I listened privately to the record, and I said, I don't know why you're so excited. It's Chuck Berry, the Everly Brothers, Buddy Holly, with a little weird accent in there. I didn't know it was a Liverpool accent, and now you know the rest of the story. The song was She Loves You, and the kids didn't particularly like it. They said the Beatle record was ordinary. They gave it a 73, as I recall, which is passable.
Lennon and McCartney wrote She Loves You, and it was released in 1963. It went to the top 5 in the U.S. in 1964. It was the band's best-selling single in the U.K. and the top-selling single of the 60s there by any artist. And yet, on American Bandstand, they just thought it was passable. Little did they know. Nelson Mandela jailed on this date in 1962. He wouldn't be released until 1990. 1963, U.S., UK, Soviet Union signed a nuclear test ban treaty. Mariner 7 made its closest flyby of Mars on this date in 1969, 3,524 kilometers. Congress passing a $1 billion limit on military aid to South Vietnam in 1974. And in 1981, President Reagan fired over 11,000 striking air traffic controllers who ignored his order for them to return to work. In 2003, a car bomb exploded in the Indonesian capital of Jakarta outside the Marriott Hotel there.
It's an absolute mess. It's completely black and twisted shell of the lobby area, in particular of the Marriott. And it looks like the remains of maybe 7 or 8 cars outside as well. It seems that's where the blast was focused. And there's a cafeteria area there as well, which seems to have borne the brunt of it as well.
12 were killed, 150 injured in that bombing in Jakarta on this date in 2003. EPA at Gold King Mine wastewater spill releasing 3 million gallons of heavy metal toxin tailings and wastewater into the Animas River in Colorado in 2015. Passing away on this date in history, Marilyn Monroe.
Was pronounced officially dead at 3:40 a.m. this morning in her home in Brentwood, California, which is a suburb of Los Angeles. And the presumably cause of death is an overdose of barbiturate.
Also passing away on this date in history, Carmen Miranda, Richard Burton, Sir Alec Guinness, and the delightful Charlotte Ray. We have a number of birth dates today. Robert Taylor, also astronaut Neil Armstrong. Sammy Smith, the singer-songwriter, country singer-songwriter, helped me make it through the night. And from the new WKRP in Cincinnati, Tawny Katani, who passed away last year at the age of 59. Born on this date, number 77, for the love, speaking of WKRP, Lonnie Anderson, who was both in the original and in the new version in a couple of guest roles, portraying the wife of Robert Goulet, which was funny. 77 years old is Lonnie Anderson, and she still looks lovely. Also, the daughter of actor Walter Slezak and Victoria Lord on One Life to Live for over 40 years. Erica Slezak, 76 today. Musician Rick Derringer, 75. The lady who sang with the Bee Gees about emotion. Yes, Samantha sang, 71 today. Marsha, Maureen McCormick, Marsha Brady, 66 years old today. From Weekend at Bernie's, Jonathan Silverman, 56, and country singer Terry Clark is 54. Those some of the people who celebrate the 5th day of August as their birthday, if this is your birthday.
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say, Happy birthday to you!
And from 66 years ago today, August 5th, 1956, Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince at Fort Laramie. I'm Wyatt Cox. You're listening to a Friday edition of Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station. Norman MacDonald did a wonderful job with the Gunsmoke. He created a great show, and you can see his fingerprints all over this show, Fort Laramie. He thought this would move to television and perhaps become the next Gunsmoke. Just one problem. The star of the show, as Captain Lee Quince, was Raymond Burr. And not long after this show came to an end, it came to an end because he took another role, Perry Mason. That would stand him well. One has to wonder, if Perry Mason didn't come along, could Captain Lee Quince have been riding the range around Fort Laramie and possibly been a totally different career? Let's see. Let's go back to 66 years, August 5th, 1956. Raymond Burr starring in Fort Laramie and the Massacre.
At the gallop! Ho! Fort Laramie.
Fort Laramie, starring Raymond Burr as Captain Lee Quince. Specially transcribed tales of the dark and tragic ground of the wild frontier. The saga of fighting men who rode the rim of empire. And the dramatic story of Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
Is it White Dogs Camp, sir?
It's Shoshone. That'd make it White Dogs, unless there's more of a Shoshone migration than we know about.
You can tell from here it's Shoshone?
Look at their huts down there, Mr. Seiberts. Made of grass and brush woven together, not skins like the Sioux and Cheyenne.
Doesn't look like there are any lodge poles.
There aren't. They don't have any roofs, any lodge poles, just a half circle of woven grass. Harrison!
Yes, sir?
Bring on the white flag, Harrison. You and I are riding in.
Yes, sir.
You'll keep the patrol up here, Mr. Seiberts. Keep your eye on Harrison's flag. As long as he flies it, there's no trouble.
Yes, sir. White Dog will understand that you've just come to powwow with him.
Going in this way, he'll understand. Ready, Harrison?
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Syberts. Watch it down through here, Harrison.
I'm watching.
The Major said a couple of hundred Shoshone. Looks smaller than that to me, Harrison.
I'll eat every one over 100 with fine, Captain.
I don't have your appetite, but 100's nearer right. Ah, they're beginning to notice us.
I'll lose all feeling in my arm if I hold this flag any higher.
Sooner the feeling than the arm, Harrison.
Yes, sir. Funny they wouldn't have no lookouts posted.
Well, either they're not expecting any trouble or they don't care. You, lead me to White Dog?
White Dog in council.
In his hut?
Why White Army come?
We come in peace, to powwow with White Dog.
Your flags say that.
Will you lead me to your chief?
He talk with Ninambia. I not talk to White Dog when he talk with Ninambia.
Just show me where he is.
You know Shoshone legend?
Yes, I know.
There. In small canyon out by stream. Follow it. You find White Dog.
You going up into that canyon, Captain Quince?
Yep, you stay here and keep that flag in plain sight. Feel it in your arm or not.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't have any trouble, unless it bothers you to be outnumbered by squaws and kids.
Long's they're not mine, they don't fret me, Captain. Who's White Dog talking to?
Ninambia. Little people. The Shoshone believe they live in mountain canyons. Their medicine men counsel with them.
They can see him?
They believe they can.
You see any of them, you tell me, Captain?
I see any. It might be something I'd want to keep to myself. Stand fast, Harrison.
Yes, sir.
You need counsel too, Captain?
I need your counsel, White Dog.
Sit, my son. You ride from Fort Laramie today?
Yesterday.
You and your people must be tired, as my people are tired.
Your journey has been longer than ours, White Dog, and harder.
A journey is hard when a heart is heavy, Captain. We go to our home. This lightens our load.
You are moving your people without permission, White Dog.
Shoshone cannot live in country meant for Ute, Hopi, Apache, Paiute. We are not root eaters.
We know that. I think my people made a mistake putting Shoshone so far to the south in desert country.
Ah.
But you have left the reservation, White Dog.
You come to take us back?
No. No, we have come in peace.
And you find us in peace, Captain.
You have told me your people are tired, White Dog. Tired people, hungry people who sometimes break the peace.
Then you come to make us less tired? To feed us?
We have come to find out your needs and to arrange for your safe passage to your home in the Wind River Mountains.
Good. Ninambia told me of your coming. It was too much to believe. There is no trick.
You have always believed me before, White Dog.
You, yes.
How long have you made your camp here?
2 suns have risen since my people put their hut by the stream.
Is it a good camp? You have water? Is the hunting good?
My braves find game. Not buffalo, on which my people grow strong. They find bear, antelope, deer. In our camp, Captain, are many squaw, many papoose.
And not many braves.
Our number was more when we left Apache Reservation. But our journey was hot, dry. Now our burial ground is the length of these great mountains.
You have traveled too fast, White Dog.
2 enemies have pursued us. A blazing sun, and the fear that when the White Army came, it would not come in peace.
When your people reach the valleys of the Wind River, when they are home, they will continue to live in peace?
You have my word, my son.
And I give you mine. We will grant your safe passage to your home.
You will travel with us.
We will camp with you tonight. Tomorrow we will journey together to Fort Lyon. There will be orders waiting for us there.
You turning in, Captain?
A beautiful night, Mr. Syberts. You write about nights like this in your journal?
How can you put the Rocky Mountains into a journal, sir?
It's kind of hard even to set them good in your mind and believe them. I never see him. I don't feel small, trifling.
Well, the sky that clear and the stars so bright. I'm sure it must all have a meaning.
There's meaning in tonight, all right. Down there by the stream in White Dog's camp, the old man's telling his people that we've come to take 'em home. That the Ninambia told 'em of our coming. There's peace in their hearts tonight, Mr. Syberts. That has meaning.
I think it does. I think the men feel it too, sir.
White men, red men, bedding down under the same stars, nobody reaching for a rifle. Nobody stealing up with an arrow. Yeah, that's the way it ought to be. And every time it isn't, I get blazing mad inside.
Are you a religious man, Captain?
There are things I believe, Mr. Syberts. This, tonight, challenge of the mountains, peace of the stars, men living under them without fear. Guess that's pretty close to what I believe in.
It's a lot to believe, sir.
I believe something else, Mr. Syberts.
Yes, sir?
I've been working my jaw like an old woman. Must have used up a couple of years' words for me.
I was thinking I'll be able to put some of this night into my journal after all.
Night, Mr. Syberts.
Night, sir. That's just a coyote.
Just a coyote.
You act like it meant something, Captain.
Not to me. But to White Dog and the Shoshone, the coyote is a trickster. You can count on it, Mr. Syberts. It'll mean something to the Shoshone.
We made counsel through the night, my son. My people will not follow White Soldier.
I heard the coyote, White Dog.
My people heard, and I heard. In the legend of the Shoshone, it was Coyote the trickster who changed the color of our skin. Shoshone's skin once was white, Captain.
You have told me.
In the story of creation, when the Creator first breathed life into tufts of grass, the people called Shoshone were born with skin white as snow.
Until one day, Coyote the trickster gave fruit to the white Shoshone woman. And since that day, the color of your skin has been brown.
And since that day, Captain, Shoshone has known fear of Coyote the trickster and men whose skin is white.
Yesterday, White Dog, we spoke words of peace, you and I. We spoke of believing each other.
Yesterday, Coyote was silent.
But the Ninambia, you said they told you of our coming. You doubt the prophecy of the Ninambia?
My son, you find me here. I seek their counsel. Yesterday they told of white leaders' friendship. Yesterday you came in peace. Last night Coyote warned. Today, Ninambia are silent.
White Dog. White Dog, you're a long way from home. I have orders to see you safely to your Wind River hunting grounds.
I have orders, too. From my people.
We camped together last night. If we had come to harm you, we could have made quick work.
Last night, Coyote warned. My people listen.
You'd better counsel again with your people, White Dog. In 1 hour, we're moving on to Fort Lyon. All of us.
From August 5th, 1956, Raymond Burr, Fort Laramie, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Following these important words from your favorite station, we'll take a look at the newspapers of Sunday, August 5th, 1956.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medi-Share for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medi-Share's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medi-Share is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it, find out why they rave about the customer service, and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
You are greatly appreciated for being there listening to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station. This hour, an episode of Fort Laramie starring Raymond Burr from the year of my birth. August 5th, 1956, that was a Sunday, and in the newspapers of that Sunday, 66 years ago, these were some of the headlines. The last of the big three steel makers signed a strike-ending contract with the United Steelworkers Union, assuring the nation a restoration of at least 80% of its total annual steel-producing capacity, some 128.4 million tons. The historic 3-year contract between the Steelworkers Union and the Bethlehem Steel Corporation, the nation's number 2 producer, signed at the Roosevelt Hotel, it left only a handful of companies to reach an end to the costliest steel strike in the nation's history, which began July 1st. Japanese informants said today their delegation to the Soviet-Japanese peace talks has no idea of packing up and going home because of the Soviet attitude on territorial questions. These sources described as power politics the Soviet attitude in slamming the door on Japanese hopes of winning back the southernmost Kuril Islands in negotiations. Pravda and Izvestia, the newspapers of the Communist Party and Soviet government, emphasized the Soviet position on territorial questions in articles published today. A general court-martial sentenced Staff Sergeant Matthew C. McKeon to 9 months at hard labor and read him out of the Marine Corps as a lowly private for the infamous Paris Island Death March. Dazed and on the point of tears, the 31-year-old non-com from Worcester, Massachusetts, heard his penalty spelled out. He was also sentenced to forfeiture of $30 of his pay for the last 9 months. His dismissal from the service, which would take place at the end of his prison term, was for bad conduct, not quite so severe as a dishonorable discharge. The sentence imposed for negligent homicide and drinking in his barracks against regulations, the 2 counts on which McKeon was convicted last night out of the 5 on which he was court-martialed. More than half of the 24 invited nations indicated tonight they would attend the August 16th conference to internationalize the Suez Canal, but Egypt still had not responded, and Britain, anticipating a refusal, prepared to fight if necessary. Egyptian President Gamal Abdel Nasser's answer to the Western-sponsored invitation was reportedly imminent, and it's expected to be no. Russia and India, also among the invited nations, would probably follow Cairo's lead. Close associates of Senator Estes Kefauver, the Democrat from Tennessee, reported he is available for the Democrat vice presidential nomination, but is not actively seeking it. These sources said Kefauver, who eliminated himself as a presidential aspirant last Tuesday, would accept the second spot on the Democrat ticket, but they said the senator now contemplates no active campaign. A bold plan for atomic development completed to guide Dixie governors in changing the New South into a nuclear South. 40 specific recommendations came out of the 4-day Regional Nuclear Energy Work Conference attended by 167 government officials, industrialists, scientists, and educators from 16 southern states in Redington Beach. The sweeping plan now goes to the Southern Governors Conference in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, September 9th to 11th for action. Those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Sunday, August 5th, 1956, on your radio, Raymond Burr in Fort Laramie. And the conclusion is next on this Friday Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll start off the weekend of Classic Radio Theater on Saturday with an episode of an amazing show by Edward Arnold called Mr. President. It lays out the instances that took place during the administration of a particular president of the United States. The thing is, you don't know which president until the end of the show, unless you're smart and can add up the clues as to which president this is. Mr. President from 72 years ago, August 6, 1950, on Saturday's Classic Radio Theater. Let's wrap up this Friday hour with Raymond Burr, Fort Laramie, 66 years ago, August 5th, 1956.
In 1 hour, we're moving on to Fort Lyon. All of us.
My son. You will take us by force?
I don't want to.
Let us move our own way. Our belief is not your belief.
And yet, we both believe in peace.
You will keep peace if you go. Leave us alone. My people will look on that as a mark of trust. My son, believe me. A sign that we have your respect. This will bring much goodwill, much peace.
I'll do this much, White Dog. My patrol and I will report to Fort Lyon as ordered. I will powwow there with white chiefs. Tell them your wishes. If we do not return in 2 suns, you will know you are free to move in your own way.
Thank you, my son.
You'll need some sign that says you travel with the Army's permission. I will leave you with 2 flags, a white flag and an American flag. When you march, see your braves hold them high. When you make camp, fly them in full view above your huts.
We will accept the flags. A totem of trust between men. You will not be sorry, my son.
I hope neither of us will have cause to be sorry, White Dog.
You seem worried, Captain. Is it White Dog or the Major's orders to return to Fort Laramie?
I'm thinking, Mr. Syberts. Always look worried when I think.
You know, sir, I thought the commander at Fort Lyon was very cooperative. He seemed to agree with everything you told him about White Dog.
I'm not worried about him or White Dog or Major Daggett, but it's a long way to Wind River from here.
White Dog and his people are a long way from home. You figure him to be about 2 days behind us, sir?
About that.
That'll be Harrison riding in, Captain. Must have come on to something.
Must have. Patrol, halt!
Captain Quint, sir.
What is it, Harrison?
Up ahead, sir, in the basin. Cavalry. Must be a full company of them.
They camped?
Well, more like they've just stopped for a while. No real camp, sir. No pickets out.
Wonder what company it is, sir.
Well, it's not from Fort Laramie or Fort Lyon. We'd know about them. Might be someone from Kansas or Nebraska. I'll ride on ahead with Harrison for a check. Move the patrol up after us.
Right, sir.
Let's go, Harrison.
Yes, sir. He's still talking, Captain.
Talking, Harrison?
Like he was when I come on him. The tall one. And the rest listening. Must have a lot on his mind.
We'll leave our horses here. Walk on in.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear the voice of God Almighty telling you, as he tells me, this is the glory road? God knows it is, brothers. I call you brothers. You are my brothers. Amen. And we travel this road together. Not as a company of cavalry, not as a commanding officer and trooper, but as brothers, soldiers in the army of God Almighty, with just one supreme commander. So be it, brothers, so be it. And in the battles that are to come, we shall hear the voice together, you and I. We shall follow his orders to the death. And whosoever shall come between us and the voice shall perish, world without end. Amen. Amen. Amen, brothers.
Captain, is he a parson, that major?
Might be, Harrison, or maybe it's just like you said. He's got a lot on his mind.
You, Captain, do you pray?
I might.
Then pray now, brother, for the salvation of your soul and for those of your brothers.
You in command here, Major?
God is in command here, brother.
I'm Captain Quince, B Company out of Fort Laramie. My respects, Major.
Major Petrie, A Company, Fort Pierre.
You're a long way from Dakota country, sir.
I hope you're not questioning my right to be here, Captain.
I'm not questioning anything, but I'm interested in your being here. I take it you're not going on to Fort Lyon.
We shall go where our mission takes us.
At Fort Lyon, they think my patrol is the only cavalry between there and Fort Laramie.
You guard your territory jealously, Captain. A base emotion, jealousy. As base as suspicion. I shall pray for your deliverance.
I don't want you praying for me, Major.
Ignorance is sin, brother.
Ignorant, jealous, that may be. But suspicious I am. Of any man who talks about God and wears half a dozen scalps hanging from his belt.
I make a practice of reporting men who have no respect for rank, Captain.
My commanding officer is Major Daggett at Fort Laramie. I'd appreciate your reporting this incident, Major Petrie, including the 6 scalps.
I'll welcome you in Dakota Territory any time, Captain. I'd say you have a lot to learn.
I was thinking the same about you, Major. We're at peace with the Indians in this part of the West.
Are you?
There's a band of Shoshone a couple days behind us. They have the Army's leave to move to their home along the Wind River.
Our paths may not cross at all.
If they do, you'll find them flying 2 flags, a white one and the American flag. We've told them the flags will guarantee their protection.
We look differently on the American flag in Dakota Territory, Captain.
That's so, Major? Out here, it means liberty and justice for everyone. Come on, Harrison.
What kind of man is that, Captain?
The kind of man that scalps Indian women, Harrison.
Well, here's all the answer we can get out of Fort Pierre, Captain. Colonel says Major Petrie's on a reconnaissance mission.
Scalping Indian women's called reconnaissance nowadays, Major?
You want to read the telegram for yourself, Lee?
I don't need to. I know what I saw.
I know how you feel, Lee. We've got troubles enough without the Army fighting itself.
Major, if you'd have seen his men, wild-eyed, frenzied, he was whipping them with his words. What words they were.
Well, every officer has his way of stirring up his men.
Stirring them up for what? That's all I want to know. From the North Platte as far south as the Cimarron, the Indians are at peace.
Well, I don't know what his aim was.
When you telegraphed Fort Pierre, did you ask the colonel if Major Petrie's a minister?
The answer's there, Captain. He's a self-ordained minister.
6 scalps, Major.
All right. What do you want me to do? I had to call you back here. Captain Matheson's got 2 companies detained in the Black Hills. We've got a garrison to secure, Captain.
White Dog's 2 days late. If he was moving at all, he'd have been through here 2 days ago.
Maybe they're traveling a different route.
To get to Wind River?
I don't know, Lee. I don't know, except I can't spare a patrol right now.
You can spare me.
For what? What would you do?
Start back, look for White Dog.
Not alone, Lee.
All right, give me Harrison then.
Suppose you find White Dog and his people. They're not likely to feel any different. You offered them the protection of a patrol before.
They're not going to fear 2 men.
Maybe they're not. You You feel responsible for them, don't you?
I gave them the flags, Major.
We don't know that they had need for any other protection.
They're 2 days late.
All right, Lee. You and Harrison.
Thank you, Major.
I'm not finished. When you find White Dog, I want you to make this clear to him. When he's off the reservation, he's entitled to Army protection. And by heaven, next time he'll accept an Army patrol, whether a coyote howls or not.
I'll tell him, sir.
I want to be just, Lee. I want to treat Indians fairly, civilly. But when their superstitions get in the way, I lose patience with them.
I feel the same way, Major.
I'm glad to hear that.
About an Indian superstition and a white man's fanaticism. Blind spots don't have a color, Major.
And I don't mind telling you, Captain, gave me a turn at first, seeing them come straggling up and make the camp right there on our creek.
They didn't bother you?
No bother at all. Excepting just that they was there, and they was Indians. It don't make a man feel real comfortable. My woman now, she just let out one long war whoop and made for the fruit cellar. Like never got her out of there.
She feeling better about it now?
Yeah, fine. Yeah, we just sat by and watched them. They was cooking, cleaning their young in the creek. Never made a move toward us, nor us toward them. Well, now, I got to be honest about one thing.
What's that?
I said we just sat by and watched. That ain't the whole truth. My woman turned her head more than one time. Them braves don't wear much more than they're born with, do they?
Not much, mister.
Yeah. Well, sir, the sight to end them all for me was when they first come in. Now, right away, they run up them flags as high as they could. I tell you, Captain, that flag looks mighty good, no matter who's flying it.
You say they left here day before yesterday?
Now, let's see. Yes, sir, I'm sure of it.
Heading north?
North along the creek.
Well, thanks very much, mister. We must have passed their camp during the night, Harrison.
Don't seem like we could have, Captain.
No, it doesn't.
Is it just the two of you after them this time?
This time, mister?
Yes. Now, yesterday, there was lots more troopers. And the major who talked to me, I think he said he was a major. Well, anyways, he asked the same kind of questions.
Only what?
Only when I told him about the Indians, he didn't smile the way you did, kind-like. This major, he didn't smile at all.
Let's go, Harrison.
And we saw it clearly, and we served it well. Amen, brother. Amen, brother. Go your way. Go your way. In peace.
What kind of a lunatic are you?
You're still in need of prayer, brother.
You're rotten, foul, evil.
You came upon the Shoshone camp?
I never saw such a slaughter. Old men, old women, babies. Why? Why?
My report will say that we were attacked, Captain.
How many men did you lose, Major?
Oh, we were very lucky.
And all the attackers were killed. Do you like it, Major, killing women and children?
You'll get court-martialed for this.
An investigating party should be at Owl Creek by now. We'll see who gets the court-martial.
For killing Indians?
They'll find the flags waving high over 100 cut-up bodies. They'll find the rifles that were never fired. And there's no mistaking the fresh scalps around here.
You call yourself a white man? Indian lover? Well, I've no time for your kind. Women and children, yes. Nits make lice. An Indian that never grows up is a good Indian. Because he's a dead Indian. And a dead squaw can't bear any more papooses. Not a solitary one.
The killing's just begun. The Indians you haven't killed will massacre innocent whites because of you. Savages answering savages. But your killing's the worst kind. Killing in the name of God.
Fort-Laramie is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald and stars Raymond Burr as Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry. The script was specially written for Fort-Laramie by Kathleen Height, with sound patterns by Bill James and Tom Henley. Musical supervision by Amerigo Marino. Featured in the cast were John Daner, Lawrence Dobkin, Sam Edwards, Lou Krugman, and Tim Graham. Jack Moyles is Major Daggett, and Harry Bartell is Lieutenant Seiberts.
Company, tension! Dismiss!
Next week, another transcribed story of the Northwest frontier and the troopers who fought under Lee Quince, Captain of Cavalry.
August 5th, 1956, Fort-Laramie, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Would you do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every time you roll around here on your favorite station. And if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. All of our shows are available on demand at my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows. You can learn more about classic radio collecting. You can find links to all the different podcast apps that have our shows available for you to download. You can also find all of our social media links. You can contact me directly, and if you're so inclined, you can buy me a coffee. We appreciate that buying me a coffee. That helps us acquire new shows to bring to you here on your favorite station. We appreciate you so much. And please tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.